The Fisherfield Forest is home to some of Scotland's most remote mountains. Located in the Northwest Highlands, this group is difficult to reach from any direction, and it is sometimes known as Scotland's last wilderness. In this adventure, I'm going to spend 2 days in the wilderness, bagging the 5 Munros, and I was treated to something special. I'm going to say it, I think this is maybe just the best viewpoint that I've seen on my Munro journey so far. What a special mountain this is. Well, hello and welcome to what is hopefully going to be an epic Munro adventure today. And the plan for today is the Fisherfield 5 Munros, described as one of the great wilderness in Scotland. I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. So the start point for this epic adventure is just outside Kinlochewe in Shirrill, and you can actually cycle a fair bit up the path there. There's a little bit of pushing towards the end here, but that'll pay off once I'm coming back down. So you might just be able to see 2 of the Munros in the background there, and the furthest away one is hopefully where I'm going to camp for tonight. So yeah, the next point that I'll check in will be Loch Fada, which I don't think is too far away from here. Wow, what a view for first thing in the morning. So it's currently about 8 o'clock and I made it to Loch Fada, which you can see right behind me there. I'll show you some of the views. What a spectacular morning. What has happened to Scotland just now with this weather recently? Absolutely incredible. But I think the problem today is going to be keeping hydrated on the pull up to the first Munro. So yeah, you might be able to see it. Beinn Tarsuinn out to my left hand side. Yeah, that's going to be tough in this heat, but not bad when the views are like this. So yeah, let's crack on towards the first Munro of today. Fantastic. Right then, just a quick update for you guys. So I've just filled up my water and I'm making good progress up towards Beinn Tarsuinn that you can see just behind me there. What a scorch of a day it is. I don't know if you can see it, but the rivers here are so dry, so that's why I had to fill up my water back there, as I don't think there should be any water until I get right up and over this next Munro. So yeah, hard going in this heat, but I don't think it'll be too long till I'm at the top of the first Munro. It wasn't long before I was up onto the Mullach and the views of Fisherfield opened up. So as you can see here, this is the final Munro of the circuit, Mullach, Coire, Mhic, Fhearchair, which I'd be seeing tomorrow. Okay, so that's me nearly at the top of Beinn Tarsuinn. You can see it just behind me there. Have a look at the views from up here. Absolutely spectacular. Well, there it is, the first of 5 of the Fisherfield Munros. Finally, Munro 201. What an effort to get here. But this is Beinn Tarsuinn, which means the transverse hill, and is 937 meters high. What a spectacular place this is. So I'm going to get rid of my bag for a while, take a rest, and I'll show you some of these views. Wow, that is some viewpoint. The whole of the Fisherfield forest sprawled out behind me. And to the right hand side you might be able to make out the jagged peak of Kinlochewe. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, it feels good to get the bag off. I'm actually in a bit of shade just now. A cloud just went over the top, which I'm quite glad of. So yeah, I'll try and show you some of what I can see from up on top of Beinn Tarsuinn. So as I said, this is some viewpoint here. Behind me, you can see over to Mullach. I've had a good view of that most of today. And down to the right hand side, this feature here is known as the tennis court. Down here, I'm going to be crossing over there. And then over to where I'm hopefully going to camp tonight, up onto Avagin, which is about here. So I probably could have added this Munro Beinn Tarsuinn onto tomorrow's plan and out and back on the way back down to Loch Fada, but I thought this would be an interesting way to do it up here. And like I say, take in the tennis court and across to Avagin. It maybe adds a little bit of ascent onto the whole trip, but I think it's going to be worth it. Right then, I've definitely spent long enough up here, so I'm going to make my way down to the tennis court that you can see just behind me there, and then it'll be on to Avagin, where I'm hopefully going to camp for tonight. So yeah, let's get going. This place just gets better and better. Have a look at this. So I can see down Loch Fada now, and there is the tennis court. Doesn't look as flat as a tennis court, to be fair, but yeah, it's just stunning views in every direction. So like I said at the start of this video, I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, and I've waited for the right conditions, but this summer in Scotland has been providing the goods so far, and hopefully it continues like this. Well, there it is, the so-called tennis court. A bit of an interesting feature in the Fisherfields. Right then, I've now got a clear view of the next Munro, and it looks quite far away, to be honest. I'll show you. So there it is, just out there, Now you'll notice that I'm bypassing some pinnacles. You can come over the top here, but I'm actually going to take this bypass. That feels terrible after a week on Skye, taking all the difficult routes, but with this heavy bag, I'm always going to play it safe. So yeah, I'll check back in once I get a bit closer to the next Munro. I decided here that I was going to finish the last of the water that I had, as I knew there was going to be no water sources at the top of Avagin, but it proved to be quite difficult to find somewhere to top up on the way up. So I've had to go a little bit off piste to get a water source. Everywhere is so dry, so yeah, I maybe had a half-kilometre detour to get to the river. It was like a mirage. I'm so thirsty, so I'm going to get a good drink here, top up all my bottles as there's going to be no water at the top. And yeah, thank God for this river though, or I would have been stuffed. My legs were starting to get quite tired by this point. You can probably see at the speed that I'm moving, but I had been on the go for about 7 hours and this was about 15 kilometres in, but it wasn't far from where I was going to pitch for the night. Well, I'm almost there. I can see the top of what is described as one of the most remote Munros in Scotland. Well, there it is, Munro 202, Avagin. Oh, I can't even describe the views up here. I'm going to get rid of this bag and then I'll show you what I can see. Well, I can see why this is described. It's one of the finest viewpoints during a Munro round. Absolutely incredible views down Loch. You can see behind me there. So Avagin means the maiden and it's 967 metres high. So I think I'm going to pitch my tent just below the summit behind the camera. Hopefully I'll get a good sunset over the loch behind me. So as I say, stunning views down to Beinn Tarsuinn, the distance there, down Loch. It just drops straight down the edge there. Yeah, just stunning. Okay, so it's actually really early. It's only about half three, so I'm going to get my tent up, get everything sorted out, probably get a quick bite to eat as well. I'm sure I'm going to be lingering up here later on when the sun starts to set.
Different day, one you've never lived before. So with haste, go to somewhere you have never been.
It's actually one of my favourite things just now, this flex tail tiny pump. Saves you having to blow up the airbed with one of the bags or by your mouth. It doesn't weigh much either. Right, there we go. That's the tent pitched for tonight, and you can see I'm just within touching distance of the summit of Avagin behind me. Yeah, what a spot. So you might be wondering about my tent that actually got destroyed in Knoydart. So MSR were actually really good. They repaired the poles that were damaged and they actually gave me a brand new fly sheet. I didn't have to pay anything at all. Their customer service was actually top notch, I have to say. So I will be giving this tent a second shot. So yeah, I think I'm going to get a bite to eat now, and then I'll explore some of the views around here. Well, that's not a bad view to sit and have a coffee to. So I've really enjoyed the past few weeks doing the Coolin Ridge and now the Fisherfield 5. Like I said earlier, we've been treated to some fantastic conditions in Scotland recently. Even today there's a nice breeze, so there's going to be no midges. Fingers crossed. I probably shouldn't have said that because they're probably going to come out in force. The wind will die right down just as I want to see the sunset, but anyway, I'll take that. The views have been spectacular today. Just the 2 Munros, so that leaves the next 3 for tomorrow. I think tomorrow's actually a bit longer than today. It took me around 9 hours to get up to Avagin, but to be honest, I wasn't going quick at all. I was just taking my time. So I think that's the best way to enjoy these Munros, is just to plod round them and take in all the views. So the best thing about wild camping is you just get loads of time. There's no rush. Just chill, and today I've actually got about 6 or 7 hours to chill, but there's worse places you could be. I mean, have a look. I can explore the top. So there's the top, and yeah, the views every direction just gets better and better. So yeah, like I say, I've got quite a while to spend up here, so I think I'm going to chill out for a while before I get some dinner later on. I'll maybe have some dinner at the top and take in the views. So yeah, I'll catch up with you in a wee while. Right then, I think it's about time I got some food. I will admit that I did get into my tent about an hour and a half ago and shut my eyes and had a little nap. I'm just knackered. That heat takes it right out of you. So I think I'll have some dinner up here with a bit of a view.
I was lost for a wee while. Now I'm home to say goodbye. It got cold and I was lonely. I was thinking I could die. So hold my hand for the last time as I walk into the sky. I'm a tree, although I'm hollow.
Well, we're officially into golden hour now. That sun isn't too far away from setting, so yeah, the views, they're just getting better and better as that sun comes down. Yeah, the wind has dropped right off, like I said, but surprisingly there's no midges yet, so I'm hoping it stays like that just long enough that I can see the sun go down and then retreat to the tent. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So I've just spotted next to my tent there 4 or 5 deer. You may just be able to pick them out. I hope they don't eat the food out of my tent while I'm away or I'll be stuffed. I'm gonna say it, I think this is maybe just the best viewpoint that I've seen on my Munro journey so far. What a special, special mountain this is. Well, it's not far away now. It's so peaceful up here. Not a breath of wind. All you can hear is the birds chirping every so often. Absolutely perfect. Doesn't get much better than this, to be honest. I'm not usually a huge fan of wild camping, but this has maybe just swayed me ever so slightly. It's good when everything comes together and then you're left with something like this. Well, that's it. The sun has finally set. That was fantastic. So I think I'm going to call it a night now. I'm absolutely knackered. It's been a long day and I've got a huge day again tomorrow. As you can see in the distance here, might just be able to pick out. There's the first one for tomorrow, then a big drop down and over to do this one here and this one here. So I'm looking forward to that anyway. If it's anything like today, then I'm in for a treat. What a place this is. So yeah, that's it for tonight and I'll catch you in the morning. Well, good morning. That wasn't a bad night's sleep at all. I could have slept for another couple of hours, but I want to make some early progress today before the full heat of the sun comes out. So yeah, the backs of my legs got burnt. It was rather sore last night lying on it. I'll just show you where I'm going to go. So I'm going to head out to the first Munro, which is out there, then swing across back to the end of the loch there where my bike is parked. I think the worst part today is going to be between the first and second Munro. There's a lot of descent and reascent up to there, but I think once I'm there it'll be plain sailing. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. I'll catch up with you at the first Munro. I'm just approaching first Munro and it almost looks like it's barred by crags. As you can see, thank God it's in the shade, but the route actually goes up, cuts across, and up to the top. Lovely views again. So there's the route you've got to come up. Quite scrambly actually, quite steep. But I think it eases a little bit just now up and over this boulder field. There it is, first Munro of today. Nice and early, it's about 6:45, and this is Ruadh Stac Mor. It's 918 metres, just a Munro. I think it means the big red stack. Tough pull up, very direct, but that makes it that little bit quicker. So yeah, there's fantastic views back to Avagin and over to Sleoch and into that direction. But there's also another view that's catching the eye, which I'll show you just now. So like I say, there's a view here that catches the eye, and it's out to Anchelic. You can just see the pinnacles in the shadow there, pretty special. And out to the other side, there's actually a couple of corbets in the Fisherfield forest. I think it's Beinn Vor, something like that. They look like great mountains as well. And no doubt I'll be back to do them at some point. So I don't think I'll linger here for too long. I've got a huge descent, which I'll kind of show you the route here. It's hard to see, everything's in the shade just now, but I'm going to go around the loch here, descend down, and you might just be able to see where I come back up just in the distance over there. So that's going to definitely be the toughest part today. But yeah, it's not too warm yet, which is good. I think it was the right decision to head off early. So yeah, I'll catch up with you once I've made some progress to the next Munro. So from this point, I definitely had the hardest part of the day ahead of me, a direct descent to the glen below, and this drops down to about a height of 200 metres, and then that meant a very steep pull up the other side. So I didn't actually film too much of this part as it was really hard going in the heat. Right, so that's me at the lowest point between these two Munros. This was the descent from hell. Behind me you can see really steep, relentless, and the way up looks similar going up the other side. This is really low here. I'm not sure what height I'd be at. I'll put it on the screen just now. I'll be able to figure it out once I get home. But yeah, it's really hot again. The sun out. Hopefully I get a little bit of shade on the way up. But yeah, I'm going to get a quick bite to eat here, stock up on water, and then make my way to Munro number 4 of this trip. It was at this point here that I got an extreme feeling of remoteness, just surrounded by all of the mountains in the Fisherfield forest. So yeah, it was just time for the steep pull up towards the next Munro. I've just reached this lovely loch. I'll give you the view that I've got just now. It was a tough climb up to here. I'm not joking, that heat with this heavy bag, that was a real struggle. So that's why I didn't film any of it. But I'm up now to just below Sgurr Ban, which you can see up here in the distance. That's actually Avagin and Ruadh Stac Mor, which it looks miles away to be fair. But yeah, it's just going to be a quick, well I hope it'll be quick, pull up the shoulder here, up onto Sgurr Ban. Let's go. A nice little shelter here made out of the stones, right in the middle of this boulder field. Random place. Well, I don't think I've ever been so glad to see the top of a Munro than this one. This is Sgurr Ban. It's 989 metres high. I think it means the White Peak. And the sun is just reflecting right off these rocks. It's so uncomfortable, it's so warm today. But yeah, that is definitely the hardest bit of today out of the way. That took around 4 hours to get from Ruadh Stac Mor over to here. I knew the Fisherfields were never going to be easy. So anyway, I'll show you a 360 view up here. I can see the next Munro. Thankfully, it doesn't look too far away, so yeah, I'll show you what I can see up here. It's actually a tiny little cairn that looks higher, probably deceiving. You'd think this big cairn's the top. But to the right hand side you can see over to Avagin and Ruadh Stac Mor, like miles away now. Yeah, this Munro in Fisherfield probably has the least views. It's a broad summit, so I think I'm going to head towards the fifth and final one I've got to do. I'm running low on water and sun cream, so yeah, I think it's best to get that one bagged and get back down to the loch. So I've now got a view of the final Munro, the fifth Munro in Fisherfield, and I will be honest, it looks like it's got a bit of a sting in its tail. You'll see it there, there's the patches zigzagging up the face there, so that will be quite tough. I think it's actually the highest Munro of the 5 as well, so but I know once that's out of the way, there'll be no more difficulties. I decided to use up the last of the food that I had to get to the top of this Munro to boost the energy for that scree slope you can see just across from me there. This is a steep path, look at that, snaking up. You can see the way ahead. Directly uphill, following this scree. Oh, my legs have just about had enough for one day, but I'm nearly at the top. Oh, I've never been so glad to reach the top of Munro 205. Mullach, Coire, Mhic, Fhearchair, I think it's known as. It's a mouthful. It's 1,019 metres high. As I say, the highest of the Munros in the Fisherfield. Fantastic viewpoint too. I can see everything that I've been round over the last 24 hours. So yeah, I'm going to get this big backpack off and take a little rest. Like I say, this is some viewpoint up here. I think you can see over to Beinn in the distance, with Sleoch next to that one. And right behind me you can see Beinn Tarsuinn and the tennis court. Fantastic, and the weather's held up, almost too nice. I dread to say it, but it's been cooking today. Right decision to leave quite early, as it's only, I think it's about 12:30, 1 o'clock now. Plenty of time to get back down, so yeah, I'm going to chill out for a bit up here, enjoy the views, and then head back down towards my bike. I've spent long enough taking in the views up here now. I just can't pull myself away from it, as I know I might not be back here for a wee while. So yeah, it's all downhill from here, straight back down to the loch, pick up my bike, then freewheel out. So I'll give you my review of this trip once I get a bit closer to there. So I suppose I better give a review of this trip. That's my Fisherfield adventure over. Kind of sad really, I really enjoyed it. But at the same time it has been tough, especially in this heat. So I think I'll have to give it a 10 out of 10. It's got to be. That sunset on Avajan last night, that is one of the best sights I've ever seen from any Munro. So I can see why it's famed as the last wilderness, or the last great wilderness of Scotland. It really felt like that. And I'm not gonna lie, I was knackered about halfway through today, and I found myself planted right in the middle of the 5 Munros. That has to be one of the most remote spots on Scotland. So yeah, I didn't panic, but I just knew I was absolutely knackered. The heat was getting me. Yeah, it was tough, but I got through it. Plenty of water, must have had 7 or 8 litres today through my water filter. So yeah, fantastic trip. Positives from doing it from Kinlochewe: you can take the bike, which helps a lot to get in. Also, you can get up to Avajan pretty easily on day 1 from Shenavallabothi. That takes some effort to get out there. A negative, maybe it's hard to tag the Coire on from this direction. That's the main reason that I done it, was I wanted to wild camp on top of Avajan, and also I'm partial to take my bike for some of these long walks in. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've just got about 10-15 minutes on the back of a bike and the cycle back to Kinlochewe. So thanks for watching if you've stuck around for this long, and I'll see you on the next adventure.